Welcome back. From step counts to recovery metrics, we've got more health data than any generation in history. And it's making us more anxious because of it. So, a clip from the Diary of a CEO podcast recently left many questioning whether we are over-optimising our lives. Here it is.
I had a year of not drinking, decided to have a drink again. It ruined 3 days of my life. I had a couple of glasses of wine, didn't get drunk. It ruined 3 days of my life because of the domino effect it caused. So it meant that I got worse sleep that night. And then because I got worse sleep that night, I ate more poorly the next day because my dopamine system or whatever, the cortisol system was all messed up.
Resilience, yeah.
And then I podcasted worse. I didn't go to the gym the day after, that day or the day after because of that, because I felt really bad. I then slept worse, and I could track all of this on my Whoop, #ad, #sponsor, #investor, whatever. Hey. Yeah, and I was like, oh my God, those 3 glasses of wine had this hidden domino effect that I must have been living with for my whole life.
Your whole life?
It must be exhausting being Stephen Bartlett. This clip, though, has become a bit of a tipping point when it comes to optimisation. So joining us to discuss is exercise scientist and nutritionist Amelia Phillips and neuro-performance scientist Dr. Christy Goodwin. Morning to you both, and thanks for coming in. Mills, have we gone too far with this whole optimisation stuff?
Oh, my goodness. When you watch that clip, can't you just feel the joy of life getting sucked out of your veins? Mm-hmm. Look, it's no surprise that we are getting a backlash to this optimising culture when you've got clips like that going around, and the memes and the comments from that Diary of a CEO episode went completely bananas. And really, you know, I agree. Like, we see this pursuit of perfection having a backlash on people. I don't think it's a problem of the technology per se. I think it's more of an issue of how we're using that technology.
The problem is, though, we're overwhelmed by it, and everything gets better and better, and we're getting so much more data, Dr. Christie. So we're, this overload, it's constantly keeping us up. It's having it's affecting our nervous systems, and therefore affecting our lives.
Yeah. Well, look, it's paradoxically a point in time where we have more access to health data, but we're more anxious about it. I wasn't immune to this. When I first wore a health tracker, I woke up one morning and I felt fabulous, until I picked up my phone and saw my sleep score. And I didn't realise that my health tracker had flipped over in the night and hadn't actually reliably tracked my data. But I let my data and my dashboard dictate how I felt. And I think the real problem is when we let our apps and our algorithms determine how we feel, we've got a problem.
What are the general impacts that you're seeing on mental health when it comes to this level of data?
Yeah, it's this hypervigilance. You know, when we let the app or the algorithm shape how we feel and override how we feel physically or psychologically. There was a study done in 2014, and what they did was fabricate people's sleep data. So some people were told that they got much poorer restorative sleep. Another cohort were told that they got much higher than what they actually got in terms of their restorative sleep. And then they did some cognitive tests, and no surprises, the group that were told they had inflated sleep measures outperformed the cognitive tests. So the issue with Stephen was never about his data, it was about the story that he wrapped around that data that capsized his days.
It's a level of perfectionism I think we've tried to achieve in our lives so we can live longer and be better. And, you know, I've fallen into this trap many, many times, you know, but also you've got to, like, sort of also live your... I mean, that video of him saying, I had 3 wines at roommate for 3 days, like, bro, you made me want to drink again just watching...
Exactly right.
Just for the lols. Just have some fun.
I know. I mean, I think you've got to ask yourself the question, is this data that I'm tracking motivating me or stressing me?
Yeah.
And it's a really simple question to ask yourself, because sometimes it's really motivating. Like, I know for me, when I did track my sleep, I focused on it more. And it was helpful for sleep. But when I was marathon running and I was tracking every single kilometre split and trying to beat my time, it really stressed me out, and it took any enjoyment out of running. And I ended up just chucking the watch to the side and raw dogging it and running without anything. So that's why it's such a unique individual, you know, thing. Sometimes it can work for people, but you've got to ask yourself, is this motivating me and making me make healthier choices, or is it stressing me out?
It's got to a point, I suppose, where we're led to believe that you cannot perform at a high level unless you are all in on optimising every single element of your life. What do you tell your high performers that you work with about striking the right balance between doing what is best for them to encourage high performance in their roles, but also giving them some grace in their life.
Absolutely. I tell people don't optimise, synchronise. So many of us are looking or pursuing the perfect protocol or the hack when we haven't got a baseline of really basic principles, and we'd be so much better placed if we put some of the basics in place. I often say the basics work if you work the basics, and so many of us are trying to supplement and sauna and ice bath our way out of a system that is chronically stressed, underslept and eating a really terrible diet.
Is it worse for males because of the algorithm, or is it across both genders?
I'm seeing it across both the genders.
Right.
Absolutely.
Me too. Yeah.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
So what would be your advice to just getting the balance right, Mills, in terms of eating, exercising and getting
Tracking
the basics
some things.
right?
Yeah, so choose what you're going to measure. Don't try to measure anything. You stick to one focus, you know, one little goal that you've got at the moment. It might be, you know what, I have been quite sleep deprived. I really just want to pay a little bit more attention to my sleep. So don't measure and manage anything. And just remember that, you know, joy, compassion, connection, that doesn't come with a score. And there's a lot of beautiful things in this world that we can't track and measure. So use it wisely. If it's not working for you, take it off, raw dog it, take a bit of a break.
Go touch some grass, you know, as the kids would say. Okay, thank you both so much for coming in today.
pleasure.
Really
Thank
appreciate it. It's a great conversation. Just be average, everyone.
Don't drink that wine.
Yeah, exactly.
It's time. It's nearly 11 o'clock.
You have our approval.